What's going on, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys a nine-game slate on this Friday. So we got a couple decent games here. Some games that look, pretty high scoring. In the late slate, something like Pelicans, Golden State, Charlotte, Sacramento. So some things go a little later in the night. But I mean, obviously, it doesn't affect what you're doing on Prize Picks here. That's kind of more on the DFS side of things. But I mean, here it is. This is Prize Picks, man. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, welcome. We cover Prize Picks just about every day for NBA, and you can sign up using our promo code Upstate. That'll give you a deposit match up to $100. So if you put in 100, you get 100 back. So if you guys want to sign up, if you guys are new to it, go ahead. This Prize Picks has been awesome to us. We've been playing it since it's pretty much been legal in New York State, and we've had some really good luck on them. And since the videos come out, I know a lot of people who've been commenting who has had some really good luck too. So this is what we do. We bring the videos, and we talk about a couple things. Sometimes we have more players we like to talk about. Sometimes on a slate like this, we go through, and I don't know. There's not a lot that really catches my eye or Riaz's eye so far. So unfortunately, like, we don't want to give you guys, just some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to come out and bring you some picks that we're pretty confident in. So a lot of the times we'll kind of pick some players and we'll kind of build something on the side here. If you're watching on the screen or if you're just listening, we'll highlight a couple players and then we'll kind of just jump category to category. So Riaz is going to start us off here in the points and just kick it off, man.
Yeah, the first person I'm going to be talking about is DeJounte Murray. Jocko Portal is out. We've seen him just absolutely destroy so far this year. And DeJounte Murray's been really destroying as well so far. And with him out, I know Thaddeus Young's going to step in. Uh, what's his name? Doug McDermott's going to be in there. So those are two guys that can score a lot, but I think they're going to really need Murray to still bring the output of putting up 20, 25 points. And against this young Orlando Magic team, I think he's in a great spot to do so.
Yeah, the Magic backcourt doesn't really scare me. They're really young, so Murray, I guess you can kind of come onto this game and say that he's like kind of the veteran in this game, which is weird to say honestly. But we haven't seen him smash in the scoring category yet this season. We haven't seen him go like over 23, 25 yet. But he's shooting the ball at a pretty good percentage. Shooting at 44%. If he can get the deep ball rolling a little bit better, that'd be nice. But I like to just see him taking them. He's starting to take a little bit more shots. I think Poto being out definitely helps his usage. So I like him here in this spot against this Magic team that I don't think really has that's really going to give him any trouble on the defensive side of things. So I like Murray there as well. Scrolling down a little bit, in the game that I really like to target. I'm a Washington fan, but I really like targeting just about anyone against Washington because I know it's either going to be a high scoring game. For some reason, the games are pretty much going into overtime always this season. I like John Morant. He's really taken a step forward this season in terms of his scoring, and I think he's even like in the MVP, like the early MVP voting, honestly, in that category. But obviously, he's going to play a ton of minutes. He handles the ball. Had a tough game out there against Denver, back-to-back games. But he did reach it on the first night, but the second night on that back-to-back, he didn't hit it. But so far this season, it looks like he's just been getting there just about every game. And he's not a guy really that's going to scare you from deep. He started off the season shooting a lot more three-pointers, and lately it's been kind of trending downwards. But either way, he shoots about, I give or take, like 18 to 22 shots a game, which is always nice to see. He gets to the line fairly well. So I don't know, just in this spot, like I said, Dinwiddie I don't think is going to give him too much issues. I think just it's going to be a back and forth game between these two teams, and like I said, super high scoring. So we always like to target these pace up spots, especially for someone like Ja, who's just as good as a scorer as anybody.
Yeah, I mean, out of all kind of the superstars this year and kind of the young superstars, John Morant's kind of been the one steady guy who's been going out every single night and doing what he needs to do for his team. And I like this game a lot too. To kind of stay in the same game is Desmond Bain. Dylan Brooks is still out. Bain's still going to get a bunch of run. I really like his presence in this game. He likes to shoot a bunch of threes. He's been making a ton as of late. And I think there's a ton of points to be scored in this game. And 15 and a half we've seen so far this year. He's got 25 point upside, so I like Desmond Bain here in this game.
Another one of the young guys too that's just been killing it is Bane. His three ball has just been just about as good as anyone's in the league so far, shooting at 41%. And a lot of these people who've been shooting as many threes as him have been literally in the lower 30s, maybe even high 20s in percentage wise. So that's scary. So Desmond Bane has definitely been putting the ball in the bucket. And like I said, we like this matchup for him as well. Scrolling down a little bit, some things have kind of updated here that I haven't really seen. But another guy that I'm really on, just because I really like his game all around, and I like Karis LeVert honestly in this spot. He's a guy that's been trending upwards ever since he came off his injury. Went to 16 minutes to 24 to 31. His fantasy points have been rising with that. His regular points have been rising with that. He's a tremendous playmaker. Honestly, he's a low-key triple-double guy. Once he gets his legs under him, I like playing him on sites like DraftKings, stuff like that. I think he's always an awesome play on there. And literally, he's been shooting the ball just about as much as anyone on the team. So he steps right into his role. He's shooting the ball more than Brogdon. He's shooting the ball more than Sabonis. I know Turner's had flashes of just like that game he went for 40, and then he's been trending upwards again in points. But Turner's not a guy that I like to target this season. So in terms of consistency on this on this Indiana team, I really like LeVert, and I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. Oh, sorry, just something's just updated here out of nowhere. But yeah, LeVert here, doesn't shoot a bunch of threes, but it is trending upwards. I think we're going to see him shoot the ball around 30-35% from three as the season goes on, which is obviously a really good mark. And I really like him here at 18.5. I think it's just shallow.
Yeah, it's great to see Levert back. Weird kind of circumstances with him. He gets traded. They do a physical, and turns out he's got something wrong with him. So glad that he's back and healthy. The last guy I want to touch on is a little bit further up, and that's Jared Allen. His last two games, he's just been smashing. I think he's in another great spot against Toronto. I love feeding the guys with who are riding the hot hand. He's at 13 and a half for the points. I love that over. He's gotten 24 the last game, and I think they know if they want to get this Cleveland team going, they got to feed Jared Allen down low. So I'm taking the over with Jared Allen.
And the things that just updated for me was Paul George, Reggie Jackson just popped up on the screen. Towns and Edwards. Probably staying away from Towns. PG's a guy that can light up any given night, but pretty much his line's been right there, just every game. So really, I don't see any discounts particularly, but I like some of those guys in different categories. The last guy I'm going to be kind of looking at here is Scotty Barnes. He's coming back off his injury. It was just a thumb injury, so it doesn't really scare me too much. I think he's going to get right back into his role. He's a rookie. He's playing, a crap ton of minutes. He's been there just about every game this season. He's got over that 14 and a half. And we've seen him even light it up for 25 points already this season. And I think he's going to come back right into a role where he's just going to be shooting about like 14, 15 shots. I got him at this game. And this Cleveland team doesn't really scare me. Their front court is pretty solid. Obviously, like honestly, Evan Mobley, solid defender. Jared Allen, is a solid defender, and I think Isaac Okoro, honestly, is a pretty good defender, underrated as well too. So, could this be a tougher matchup for Barnes? Yes, but I think just in terms of volume, I think that he can get there. He's not going to like wow you from deep either. He doesn't really shoot a lot of 3-pointers, but I think 14.5 is something you can look at. And if there's something else you want to look at, Riaz, we can. If not, we'll jump to rebounds.
Yeah, let's jump to rebounds.
And then for me, I got really shallow for me in here. Obviously, there's a lot to choose from, but the only guy I'm really looking at is Miles Turner. I know I said I didn't like him in the points category, which is understandable, but he's a guy. If as long as his minutes, stay viable, I think he can get here. I mean, he's gotten here the past 5 games, and he started off the season well. It's just sometimes his minutes fluctuate up and down. Sometimes he'll play 24 minutes. Sometimes he'll come up and play 30, 32. So I think it's just a matter of matchup proof. But I think this is going to be a solid matchup, him against Yusuf Nurkic. So I think they might need him out there in his production. And like I said, he's been shooting the ball well lately. So they could just be riding a hot hand. So give him more minutes, which will obviously give him more opportunity for rebounds. Tremendous shot blocker too. So defensive wise, they're gonna need that for his presence as well. So I like Turner here at 6.5.
Yeah, Miles Turner was a guy that I was on definitely right when the slate kind of came out, but I'm on two guys that are in the same game. I'm going to be targeting against my Spurs here, and that's Wendell Carter Jr. and Mo Bamba. They're both sitting at 9.5. I like that over. I think the Spurs are going to run pretty small. They'll probably have Thaddeus in the center spot. He's going to play a ton of minutes like he did last game, and Doug McDermott will probably play power forward, and then they'll just kind of run small. So I think Orlando's really not going to change much what they've been doing. So I think Wendell Carter and Mobamba take advantage of this small Spurs lineup, and they both grab about 10 boards a game. So it's not like they're stealing rebounds from each other. They're still grabbing a bunch of boards each game. So I really like both of their overs.
Yes, no doubt. We'll jump over to assists if you're ready.
Yeah,
So in the assist category, um, similar to rebounds, not a whole lot that I'm really liking here. I'm back on Levert, just because I think that he's gonna handle the ball a lot for this team. Besides for Brogdon, Brogdon, we'll see how the season plans out, how it pans out. But I think he's gonna end up being one of the primary like ball handlers on the team as he already is. But I just think as a playmaker, I think Levert right now at 5 is a discount. So as the season, progresses, we might see Brogdon his line go to like 6.5, 7. Levert might stay at this, but who knows? We'll see how things go about as the season goes on. But Levert, he hit this once already this season, and that was only in 24 minutes. So I like him here in an uptick in minutes in this matchup as well. I got him playing like 31 to 35 minutes tonight, which is going to be awesome for him. We've seen him back in his days with Brooklyn be an awesome playmaker too. So I don't mind this line at all, and I think I'm going to be peppering this one.
yeah. One guy I really haven't been targeting that much in this assist category, and that's John Morant. He's averaging 7.5 assists a game. The line's sitting at 5.5. We really haven't seen him really explode in the assist category. He hasn't gotten that 12, 15 assists in a game, but I think that's coming. And I think against this Washington team, he's really going to be able to just pick apart um, Beal and Dinwiddie and kind of have his way. He's been trending upwards in this category. We saw him at 10. We saw him as low as 5. But other than that, he's kind of stuck around this number. So I have him around 8, 9 assists this game. So I really like this over. And the other guy I want to touch on is Gary Trent Jr. We know he's out there to score. He's not the he's not like the guy to really be passing the ball around and making the plays. He's the one taking the shots, but we've seen as of late, he's been getting 2, 3 assists. I really like the 1.5 line. I don't think it's that much of a stretch for him to get two. And against this young Cleveland team, he's in a great spot. We know he gets the start. We know he plays around 30, 32 minutes. So, with that being said, 1.5 just doesn't seem like doesn't seem like it's going to be too hard to get to. So that's another one I'm liking in this category.
Yeah, one of those guys that can definitely just pick up a couple garbage time assists or just a couple easy ones right to begin the game, maybe off a steal or a fast break or something like that. I definitely can see him just getting there pretty easy. 2 assists can't be that hard to get. He's not like he's not been assisting the ball at all this season. He's got games where he's had 3, games where he's had 1 or 2. So not a horrible spot for him there. We hop over to 3 pointers. It gets a little bit shallow. I think we got about like maybe 12, 13 guys here. Um, I don't know who you're on realistically. So I'd like to hear your opinion on this in this category.
Yeah, the first guy that I'm on is Johnson. He's at half a 3 point made. I love targeting these lines, and we saw a little bit there. It wasn't last game, but it was the 3 games before that he made one. We know he's not a great 3 point shooter. That's not his go to. He's kind of a driving dunk kind of guy, fast break. mid-range pull-up guy, but against this Orlando Magic team with uh, with them putting up the points that they've had so far, I think he's going to need to score a little bit more this year. Uh, they can't just keep relying on Derek White and DeJounte Murray. I think Johnson's got to take that next step forward and kind of expand his game. So I like his over on threes to make one.
I'm not a huge I'm not a huge guy targeting these halves really, but I think this is not a bad spot for Keldon Johnson to get there. Right below him, I kind of like Desmond Bain again in that Washington game. I know you like him in the points. He's a guy that's been shooting the ball also from deep, like I said earlier. Some games he's hitting five, some games he's taking double digit shots. So if this was at 1.5, I think this would be a steal. But here we got him at two. I think this is one that you still can't overlook too much. We know Desmond Bain's a great shooter, and he's going to get plenty of opportunities in this game as well. And as well for these Toronto guys, with Scotty Barnes being back, I don't think it takes too much away from the perimeter game. But someone like OG Anunoby's been shooting the ball wicked good from deep as of late. But obviously, like could have got some of that uptick with Barnes being out. So for now, I think I would probably just stay away from some of these guys. See how the offense happens to play today with Barnes being back, and then maybe next slate. If things start to say this, like if things stay the same, and Anunoby shooting the ball well, Barnes is not taken away from these guys, then you can start to look at some of these lines, and they might look a little bit more intriguing. Other than that, I'm not really on these guys. I don't know who you like. If there's anyone else here, if not, we can move on.
Yeah, I definitely liked Desmond Bain. I love that he's only at two. Like you said, he's putting up double digit threes. He's shooting 41% from three, which is just an awesome stat to have. Uh, so Desmond Bain over two is one that I really like, and we'll probably have in a couple of my power plays.
Yeah, a fantasy score here. This is usually always like the biggest category. Usually they update this just pretty frequently. So we got a crap ton of guys. We're not going to go over everybody here. But I know Riaz is on Murray. I don't know if you like him in the fantasy score category as well.
Yeah, I do like Dejounte Murray in the fantasy score, and it's just the sole fact that he's been playing great. The over under in this game is 213.5, so it's not like it's that crazy of a line, but I think there is a bunch of points to be scored in this game, and Dejounte Murray just takes up all aspects of the game. I mean, he scores points, he gets assists, he grabs the steals, he kind of does it all. So he's a great person to target in the fantasy score, especially when it's under 40, because we've seen he's had that upside to get to 60, 50 fantasy points. So I think his floor is right around 40 as well. So I really like this line.
Yeah, I like targeting those guys who pretty much their lines are pretty much at their floor. It's always not a bad option here. Drew Ebanks, he's on the San Antonio Spurs. He looks like he's taking over that role for Podol. Not going to play as many minutes as Podol was playing. Obviously not as talented, but He's a guy that should play around 20, 25 minutes tonight against this Orlando team. I don't know if this game is really going to have a blowout possibility, but Orlando went out there last time. I think it was against Boston, and that just looked ugly. So I think this is a guy too I mean, can he go out there and give you a double double? Probably, but he shot the ball 10 times last game, and he got 23 fantasy points in 19 minutes. So definitely not a bad option if you want to be targeting someone low and just take a dart throw at somebody. Especially, we don't know how Pop usually runs the rotation. I know that Thaddeus Young's definitely going to get some run at the five. We know that for sure. So is he a guy that you can include in a flex play? Definitely, but if you're trying to string together like a 2, 3, 4 person power play, I wouldn't throw him in there, but definitely a solid flex play option.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you know he's going to get the run. I mean, 20, 25 minutes in this kind of pace up game, 20 shouldn't be that hard to get. And then a guy that I think you are also on, and that's John Morant. I saw this line earlier, 39 and a half. That just seems a little too low for this game. And I kind of touched on earlier. I thought I'm thinking he's going to get a bunch of assists. We know he scores endlessly. So, with that being said, when you get points and assists and pretty much a double double that you're talking about, over 39 and a half is pretty obtainable. So, and we saw him. almost get to 55 a couple games ago. He's been right around this 40 point mark. So I like that line. It's a good line for Morant.
Yeah, no doubt. That game definitely has uh, huge upside for a lot of people in the fantasy score category. Oh wow, there's just a lot of people coming out right now that I didn't see on the first time going through this. But another guy that I did see that I like in this game is Anthony Edwards. They're going against the Clippers here, and this matchup definitely does not scare me at all. Edwards is an amazing talent, can score the ball really at will. He's only gotten this he hasn't gotten this line only once this season. Every other game this season, he's gotten over this. Sometimes it's been a little close. He squeaked over it. I don't know what his ceiling is yet this year. We haven't seen him go to 50, but we have seen games where he's hitting 47. But I think regardless, it doesn't really scare me. He's shooting the ball 30% from three. I expect to see that creep up as the season progresses. He gets to the line quite a bit, and he shoots the ball. Um, a ridiculous amount of times. Really like 20 times, 23, 22 times a game. So I think just in terms of volume, he's going to get there in his percentages, and that's pretty much what he's averaging on the season, man. 23 points, call it 24, and 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and he's getting like about 1 to 2 steals a game, which is awesome to see as well. So he's averaging 41.4 fantasy points on the season. If you want to go based off averages, like I said, this matchup doesn't really scare me. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. Um, so I really like Edwards in the spot.
Yeah. The last guy I'm going to touch on is Devonte Graham. We've seen him get to this line over 27.5 for the last five. It was only the last game against Sacramento. He did not get there. But this game total is 216. He's got a ton of upside we've seen so far this year. We know he's the playmaker of this team. He likes to dish it to Walker, uh, to Valanciunas, to Ingram. So his assists are endless. He can also shoot the three. He's been shooting the three somewhat good so far this year. But if we see that turn around, I think this over 27.5 is going to be a pretty easy a pretty easy line to go after tonight. So I like this 27.5.
Yeah, I like that one for him too, especially if he can get the ball going in the playmaking category. I think that's going to be a pretty easy spot for him to get to, and that matchup seems like a good matchup to target. Honestly, against going against uh, Golden State, which is pretty nice. The last two guys I'm touching on here, pretty quick. I've been on Levert all video, so Levert at 30.5, I think is just a tremendous discount. He got there in 24 minutes last time against the Spurs, which you can call that a tougher matchup. And then against the Knicks, he smashed that in 31 minutes. Also in a tougher matchup too. So I like this spot against Portland. They haven't wowed anybody on defense. They haven't pretty much wowed anybody this season. Lillard's been playing bad. So Levert, I think, is an awesome spot. I think this is going to go pretty high scoring. And this is one of the late games, so I'm definitely going to be plugging to him here over 30 fantasy points. Probably I like him the most in that category. And Miles Bridges is another guy too, who's just been smashing that every game. He's been scoring the ball at will, just doing what he wants out there. Yeah, literally every game. This season, besides for one, and that was the first game of the season, he's gotten over that. So he's averaging 45 fantasy points a game. Just based off averages, man, he's going like 8 points over that, which is ridiculous that they got him pretty low. Obviously, they're going to start to implement some other dudes into the offense a little bit more. I believe Rozier is going to be, you know, fully suited up. I mean, he's been playing, but I'm saying realistically get back into the offense more. He's been playing around 30, 34, 35 minutes. So I feel like he's going to have, more involvement. His legs are going to be underneath him again. We haven't seen Rozier necessarily pop yet this season, so maybe they're assuming that it's going to take away from Bridges. But like I said, this matchup doesn't scare me. Barnes is a decent defender, but I think Bridges is just been hot this season. Rebounds the ball awesome as well too. So like Bridges here in the spot every game this season. If you want to just go based off a game script and averages, love him there as well. So if there's anyone else, Riaz, let me know. If not, we can wrap it up.
No, I mean I definitely love the Levert with his minutes increasing. Uh, we know his upside's 60, 55. So 30 seems a little too low if he's going to get that run.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, like I said, dude, a lot of games tonight. Um, like I said, as always, if we didn't touch on someone that you're looking at that you're like, wow, I can't believe these guys didn't touch on, just write down in the comments, man. We're always responding to the guys' comments. You guys have been awesome supporting all the videos. I want to thank you guys for that. Again, if you're just joining us, you know. We're going to be putting out daily fantasy sport content. Sometimes we do some DraftKings stuff. We do NFL. I just did my first UFC video. One of my friends, Braxton. He was on that video. We're talking bets over there. So a lot of content coming for you guys. This channel has been growing at an awesome rate, and we can't be any more excited. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.